What's up, YouTube? This your boy coming from Me and Z TV. So, just want to give you guys my prediction and my preview for the fight of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Can't wait for this fight. This is going to be a really great fight. It's for the WBC heavyweight championship of the world, and on top of that, the lineal heavyweight championship. Deontay Wilder is looking to come for revenge slash redemption. First fight was a draw. Deontay Wilder was outboxed for the majority of that fight, and then he got two knockdowns, one in the ninth and then one in the 12th, and he still was only able to walk away with a draw in his own country. Now, the second fight, Tyson Fury came in about 17 pounds heavier and just brought the fight straight to Deontay Wilder and absolutely beat him down. I mean, that was a brutal beatdown. There was no question who was the better man that night. Now, after that fight, Deontay Wilder had a lot of excuses. From his suit being too heavy, I mean, we all know, all the excuses he has, so there's no need to go into that. But now here we are with the third fight. So I'm just going to break down a few keys to each fighter on what they need to do in order to be successful. Now, I'm going to start with Deontay Wilder. Now, in order for him to win this fight, he absolutely has to land that right hand. Now, the problem that he's been having with Tyson Fury for both of these fights, more so that second fight than the first, but that second fight is he hasn't been able to disguise that right hand. Tyson Fury sees that right hand coming a mile away. So a lot of times when he's loading up to throw that punch, Tyson Fury is rolling away from the punch. He's avoiding it all the way, or he's just, when he's getting hit with it, it's not flush because he's rolling with the punch. So now Deontay Wilder, and it's another one of the keys to victory for him to me is he's got to double and triple the jab. Instead of just flicking the jab, he's got to really sit down on that jab, and he's really got to get Tyson Fury's attention and his respect. Because what I've been seeing is Tyson Fury really doesn't care about the jab. He's using his head movement, he's using feints, he's using his footwork to get on the inside and just bull rush Deontay Wilder. So with Wilder, he's got to be able to disguise that right hand. Now, secondly, to make an adjustment from that second fight is Deontay Wilder has to do a better job of when he's I don't know if he's had enough time or if he's able to do it, but that last fight, he showed he was unable to fight off the back foot. For most of that fight, he was backpedaling, and he was unable to do anything with Fury. So this time, he must make some kind of adjustment to combat going backwards. He's either got to take a step around Fury, or instead of just backing straight up to the ropes, which is a big mistake, what he needs to do is plant his feet and let his hands go. He's got to stop Tyson Fury's forward momentum. Because once Tyson Fury starts to get going, it's like an 18-wheeler going down a hill. And it's going to be hard to stop that. The other thing, the third thing for Deontay Wilder that he must do differently in this fight is he's got to be able to go to the body. I don't recall him throwing many body shots against. He throws a little jab to the body, but again, he's not really committing to that jab. He's just kind of flicking it out there and throwing it, but he's not sitting down on that jab. And he needs to not only throw jabs to the body, but he's got to throw some hooks to the body, especially when Tyson Fury gets in close. He's got to make him pay with body shots. And then, like I said, excuse me, to reiterate what I was saying before, which kind of ties into one, is that jab. He cannot just flick the jab out there because he's not really throwing it with much intention. He's just throwing it out there, and all he's looking to do is set up his right hand. Deontay Wilder has to come up with more offense, more of a variety of punches than what he's normally been doing, especially against Tyson Fury, because if he's just looking to land that one punch, he may get it, but it's going to be tough. He's got to really get lucky in this scenario. Now, when it comes to Tyson Fury, what I see with him is he does a really good job of controlling distance. He's a little bit taller, and he's definitely much heavier than Deontay Wilder, but he does a good job of he's able to land his jab, but he's just out of range for Wilder to land his jab. And Tyson Fury is very subtle, but he does a really good job of controlling the distance, where he's able to land his punches, but he's either in too close to Wilder or he's away and just out of reach of Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury also, number two, must be defensively responsible. He must continue to use his head movement, use his footwork, use his feints. That way he can avoid that right hand of Deontay Wilder. And that second fight, Tyson Fury, was the winning strategy for him has been the ability to get inside on Deontay Wilder and rough him up. Which again, I'll tie into my number three thing for Tyson Fury. He must continue to bully the bully. And that's exactly what he did that second fight. From as soon as that bell rang, he rushed Deontay Wilder and he kept him on the back foot. And Deontay Wilder has never had to have a fight like that. Excuse me. Usually Deontay Wilder is the aggressor. And a lot of people let him take his time to set up his right hand. And Tyson Fury, that last fight, he didn't give Deontay Wilder a second to be able to breathe and be able to go ahead and get those punches off. What Tyson Fury did was bully the bully. And simply the last thing I would say is Tyson Fury just needs to be Tyson Fury. He's 6'9". He's 275, 276 pounds. He's very agile for a man that size. I've never seen a man in boxing that size with that agility, that ability to be able to move the way that he does. And he's very good defensively. So with those things, you look at it and Tyson Fury just needs to be Tyson Fury. Now, some of the questions that I've been asking myself in order to, pick a winner for this fight, both guys have been out of the ring for 500 plus days, as they haven't fought since February 22nd of 2020, and here we are in October of 2021. So how has the layoff affected both guys? Did Deontay Wilder have enough time to make the necessary adjustments? And if he did have enough times, will he be able to make those adjustments, especially once the fight starts getting heated? Once he gets punched in the mouth, will he resort back to just being that one-handed fighter? Or will he be able to go into his bag and come out with some different techniques, a different punch variety to be able to keep Tyson Fury off of him? Now, the other thing that I kind of been wondering about with Tyson Fury is he overconfident? Is after that second fight, you could understand why he would be overconfident, being the way that he beat Wilder so easily that second time. I've heard him say a few things like he does realize how dangerous Deontay Wilder is and everything, and I hope he means it, because this fight can end on one punch. Every time you're in there with Deontay Wilder, he can always end that fight with just one punch. I also wonder with the change in trainers for Deontay Wilder, he's fought the majority of his career, if not all of it, with Mark Breland in his corner. And, of course, he was one of the people that he blamed for the loss, so he's fired. Now Malik Scott is there. Has that work with Malik Scott been good enough? What if Tyson Fury starts beating on Deontay Wilder the way what happened in that second fight? Will Malik Scott throw in the towel? Or will he do exactly what Deontay Wilder wants to do? These are the things that I'm curious to know. Now, Tyson Fury, is he in shape? Of course, he's not really a bodybuilder type of guy. He doesn't need to be. His skills gets him by. But, he's been having some situations with his daughter. Excuse me. So, has he been, really training the way that he's supposed to be training? And, is he ready for this fight? I know Deontay Wilder. I definitely believe that he has prepared 100% for this fight. And I do believe that he is physically ready. Now, that leads me to say, who am I going to pick for this fight? So I've gone over a few scenarios, and it's really difficult to be in the ring with a guy like Deontay Wilder for 3 fights this will be round 20 when the fight starts. And some of me wants to say, you know, it's very possible Deontay Wilder can clip Tyson Fury. But if I had to put my money down on this fight, I'm going to go with, you know, conventional wisdom. And I'm going to say I got Tyson Fury winning this fight by either a late stoppage or a unanimous decision. I don't really have the faith in Deontay Wilder's skills. Is it possible he can get a knockout win? Absolutely. But again, if I have to bet my money on this fight, I'm going to go with Tyson Fury. So you guys tell me what you think in the comments. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys think. You guys have a good one. Peace.